Good morning, day 53. Today we're going to start doing something with the trims. All the caulking is glued up or firmed up nice. Now we're going to see about putting those suckers on, seeing what's involved. My first time doing it, watched a few videos on YouTube. Doesn't seem overly complicated. The biggest problem seems to be coming around curves like this, and that when you're slowly bending it, it tends to kick out that you need to tap back in. In theory, that's how that part works, but I guess we'll see when we get at it. So that's it. Let's start building. We're going to be using these vinyl exterior house moldings for the exterior corners, some of the exterior corners. And I wanted to have a short piece so that when I put these aluminum moldings up here, I can get a feel for how it's going to fit. So I'm just going to cut a foot off of one of these pieces. These are 12 feet long. This here, these outside corners here are a little less than 5 feet. So to give a little bit of wiggle room, yeah, I'll cut a foot off of that to play with. I use my miter saw with my aluminum blade to cut this. As you can see, this is not a foot. I decided to cut it in half because it'll still, fit over the corner. Give me lots of room to play with if I need to, like, trim an edge or something like that, which is what my primary goal of getting the extra piece was, just so I can trim it and see how it would fit. These corner trims, they're 16 feet. I have a bit of a dilemma. From this corner here all the ways up and back is about 13.5 feet. From here to the floor, it's 2 feet. So they're going to be too long to work with. So I'm going to have to trim those to start working here. We did the ball of string thing, and I'm going to do something a little different. We've got it marked right here. I was talking to my wife, and so that's the actual length. We didn't measure, we just did a string. So we're going to take that mark, and we're going to overlap it up here. I'm going to have the end come out this way, but I think I'm going to give it an extra inch length just in case things go a little wonky up right here. For those of you wondering what that trim is called, here's a product number, and by AP Products, and this is Polar White. It's kinda long. And what I did, the first mark right there, that's the actual length, and I moved back another 2 inches to give it another 2 inches overlap on that end out there, just in case I might need it. Better to have it there than to have to rebend the whole thing. So now I'm going to be using number 8 wood screws up there, but I've got some number 6s with some washers that I'm going to pop in there for now, because I'll be putting it up there and bending it and then taking it down. I'm going to drill a little pilot hole down through the ACM and into the wood. Drop in a number 6 wood screw with washer to snug it down. I'll do that a couple more times. I've got several screws placed along the edge, and at the last spot before the curve I actually put in 3. As you can see, it bended up a little bit right here. So I'm assuming that's what's going to be happening throughout the bend, but I have to knock that back into place. This doesn't have the butyl tape underneath it yet. It's just held in place so I can bend this stuff. It's going to be fun. I've never really seen a full video on bending those corner pieces. I've seen bits and pieces of videos, and in a lot of them, well, some of them, I see that they use a hammer and a block of wood. Some use a rubber mallet, some use a dead blow. I never had one, so I picked this up at Princess Auto, and I already had those kicking around. Because apparently, as I already said, when you bend this, it's easy to bend, but this piece tends to kick out. So it has, oh, there we go. This piece tends to kick out. So you have to knock that back in. And then when you get it down flat, put another screw into it and then work your way down. But that's the biggest thing, trying to bend it slowly and knock the kinks back in. So we're going to see how that goes. And I think I'm going to start with this because that seems to be the most sense. This will bounce too much and this will require a third hand. And let's just bend it slowly. Take off my glasses. Now it usually kicks out on the inside here. It's bending quite easily. You can bring the camera up this way if you want. And probably come over on this side. Yes, it's bending quite easily. I'm not noticing any kinks yet. Oh, right there. Now it's starting to kink there again. So maybe I'll pop a screw in here to hold it so it won't kink there anymore. So I'm thinking, in theory, this should hold that kink from kinking, maybe. Okay, seems to be bending pretty good. Oh, another little kink starting right there. Maybe I'll put another screw in right here. Okay, let's put in the next screw, keeping it flush against the side. Okay, that one done. Keep bending slowly. I felt something. Now this bar is like 2 millimeters too long. Let it just keep it out from the bar a little bit. Any kinks? I'm not seeing anything there yet. Oh, right there. Maybe I'll pop a screw in right here. Give that kink a couple of taps. Like that. I'll go get another screw. So I'm not tightening them up like super crazy. Just tighten them up slowly. Let me see. A little bend right there. A little bend there. Oh, there's a little one back here. I need a little bit more love back there later. Okay. Now getting down to the lower piece. Just in case I might need my eyes. Okay, I've got to remove that screw right there. I'll go over before it gets the final install. I'll go and caulk these. Should have took this out beforehand. See if I got a little stubby. I don't have a little stubby. Yeah. So this is all the lovely stuff that you miss in the middle of all the videos, the stuff that people cut out. All these little difficult pieces to make it look really easy. Okay.
Want to take those out too?
Maybe want to get around the corner. Okay. So continue with my bending. Just slowly. Oh, it's coming right there. There. Slowly bending it. Sometimes I notice a little kink right there, but that's not too bad because that's a screw hole. Oh, it's kinking out there again. If that's not in the same spot, that's just next to it. I'll probably pop another screw in right there. Slowly, just using this hand with all the pressure, you're using this hand to guide. Kinking out there. Right there.
Good, good.
Pop another screw in there. Again, just tighten it up a little tiny bit, nothing crazy.
This is about every second screw, right?
Yeah, that's what it seems to be. Now take out this next one. Right here. Okay. This one is going to be a little tricky because it's a little bit. Seems like it's kicking out there a little tiny bit. Yeah, right there.
Good.
Some caulking there. Oops. Yeah.
Good.
And as you can see, it's good to have an extra set of eyes. When bending.
Oh, up there.
Maybe I should put another screw in right there. I gotta go make some screws, so I'll just turn off the GoPro. Might as well get this last screw right here, because once I get around this curve here, it's gonna be straight sailing. And just to let you know, temperature wise, it's quite humid here today. It's foggy, and it's around 11 to 12 degrees Canadian. So it's not overly hot, not overly cold. It's just enough to wear a pair of coveralls. So I'm assuming if it was warmer, this might even go easier. Let's see if we can get this around the corner. Bend it from here. Use leverage. I believe, was it Newton? Came up with the lever. Oh, look, there's a little bit of silicone in there. Sorry for getting away of the camera, but okay, she's kicking out there. Let's just give her another little bend. Now,
Good, good, good.
good, good. Okay.
Work out little ripples later.
Maybe if I pop a screw in right there. Might have to juggle around me because I'm all over the place.
Oh, there.
Well, I'm just going to pop one last screw in right here on the bottom. You get the back of my head.
Probably. I was looking at what you're doing.
Now, look at the camera. Because otherwise, folks won't know how to do this or how I'm doing it. They just see the back of my head. Okay.
Yeah, so there's still worse parts on that hard part.
Any more taps you think, Andy? There. Okay, let me check. Okay, it's pretty it's flush along here. So that's let me just take the camera. So that's it. How to install an RV corner trim. Oh, there's another little bit. I'm gonna have to do some more pounding, and I might switch between like the wood and the hammer, maybe. See how that works. But all up there is good. It looks pretty good here. Again, any bend is gonna kick out. If you look at some of the professional RVs, I'm sure they might have more bends than this. That's it. Okay, so now I'm just going to do some final I guess, fancy work on this. Try to straighten out these little bends. There was a couple of little gaps between the ACM and this trim where it sort of crinkled out. And this, while small-ish, this dead blow was just too big to get in there. So I got this piece of wood that I had kicking around. It's about 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. I would put on the little, let's say, the little proud part, give it a little small tap, and then look. Give another little small tap and look, because it doesn't take much to move this. And I got, I'd say 90% of it all pretty tight. I just look from down from the bottom. You see any black? That's just the ACM. The ACM cover, like right here. That's just the ACM cover. But I'm quite happy with that, except for that little bit. It's a little bit too much bang in there. Might try to do something with it later, but like my wife said, the more you play with metal, probably the worse it'll get. It goes right across the top. Now I'm going to start prepping for the other side. I've got the other piece of corner trim put up there. I'm not going to video that because I just did the other side, but I'm going to be doing the same process. Popping the screws in, slowly bending it around the edge and tapping it in when it kinks out. I'll show you the final product when it's done. Though I said I wasn't going to catch it on video, thought I'd do a little anyway. Just started the curve here. Now it's a little bit of extra silicone there. Just clean that out because it just makes it a little bit messy. Just slowly bending it, and I'm just watching this section here, and I'm pulling it down here. Why am I talking soft? No idea. Just seems to be better. I'm just putting enough pressure on it to bend it a little bit at a time. Oh, it seems to be kinking right there. No. Just bending it slowly. You can see that little movement there. That's how much I'm bending it. Check underneath. No kinks yet. Again, using leverage right there. Slowly bending it. And holding it. I'm not just like completely bending it or pressing, you know, making it bend all the time. I'm bending it and holding it, bending it and holding it, bending it and holding it. That seems to be working for me. And hold it. Probably going to pop a screw in right here, right now. Again, not tightening it up fast, doing it slowly. Still could probably screw in a lot more, but that's holding it. Okay, so I'm just going to get down off my ladder here now and on my stool and continue. So I'm continuing to bend ever so slightly. Still a little bit of silicone there. It's fine, just clean that off. Bend it slowly and hold. A little tiny bit and hold. Seems to be working okay. Oh, up there. That's gonna require a couple of taps. That's enough for now. Maybe I'll pop another screw in there. Back at it. Slowly bending. Had 2 points that sort of kicked out up there a little bit. Yeah, it's not super exciting watching this happen. Well, it is for me. I'm slowly applying pressure. Like I said, applying pressure and holding, applying pressure and holding. Not rushing it. If you're in a rush, don't be doing this. Okay, pop another screw in right there. I lost my lovely assistant for a little bit. Oh shit. Put too much pressure on that one little point. Crap. Doing so well. Okay, now I'll just tap that back in. Ever so slightly. Not over tap. A little bit more. Okay. Just that to there. Yeah, see, just a one little thing threw me out. Now, would it have bent there if I hadn't put the screw in? I don't know. It's bending out there again now. See, you can flatten it in pretty good. Yeah. Put another screw in right there. And this is the biggest bend of them all. I'll use my levers from down here and slowly bend it. Not forcing anything. Watching the edge. Kind of looks like it's kinking a little tiny bit. Yeah, right there. I keep back up here. A little bit more hammer in there. I'll do some fine tuning. Let me move the camera a bit. Okay. Can you still see? Pretty much. Slowly bend. Give this a couple of taps. I'm going to stick a screw in right here. Hold it while I tap it. Okay, I'm just going to give this a few taps here and then show you what it looks like. And this is the other edge, the driver's side edge. Comes down around there, a little bit of pokey out right there. This corner here took a few knocks. What can I do? And it goes down right there. So that's the second edge. I say if I had to put on 10 or 12 more of these edges, I'd have it down to a science. But I'm happy with this. Quite happy. Now, got to take these off, prep underneath, some tape, as well as maybe a little bit more caulking, some holes that are already there. And I'm going to trim. I'm not sure if I showed you or not, but this white corner trim goes up like this. So I'm going to cut this a smidge longer, maybe to like right there. Better to have it a little bit longer to be able to trim it than have it too short and have to worry about it then. We've got the trim pulled off and the cover for the ACM pulled back. I cut the trim using the miter saw here. Cut quite easily, and I've got it laid over there on the deck to keep it off the ground. I'm now going to go over these corners, clean up any silicone that's on those corners, and I'm going to go over the corners with this aluminum tape. What I'm doing now is I'm cutting this waterproof tape into 1-inch strips, and then I'm going over the corner here to give it, you know, one additional layer of waterproofing. We have the waterproof aluminum strip all done. Now we're going to stick some of the butyl tape on the aluminum trim. End of day 53. The GoPro battery died again. This is the second battery. Oh, this is my third I'm going into now. Didn't get both pieces of trim up today, but we have one. That's all installed with the butyl tape and everything all screwed. Now I can probably go over these screws again and tighten them up a smidge, which I will do later. The other side, I still have to take it off and cut it and do everything else with it, but this is all pretty much in place. Got it left a little long here. I'll have to trim that later, as well as left a little long back here, as I mentioned before. So when we put this in place, I'll do the trimming later. So that's it for day 53. Put that back in there. One thing that I also discovered is that sometimes if you find your bit in your driver is skipping, sometimes the bit is rounded. This one here is actually rounded. It was skipping on a lot of the stainless steel screws I was putting up here, which I found a little disturbing. But I found I got another one here. Tried that one and it's perfect. So I got to find that one a new home, because it's not going to be working anymore for me. So that's it today, folks. Day 53. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for day 54.